News, I'm Ben Thomas. President Trump followed up yesterday's phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin with a phone call to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. And the White House says he suggested the U.S. should take ownership of Ukrainian power plants to ensure their security. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
He said that the United States could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise. American ownership of those plants would be the best protection for that infrastructure and support for Ukrainian energy infrastructure.
Meantime, Zelensky says Putin's vow not to attack energy infrastructure would appear to be very much at odds with reality, following an overnight barrage of drone strikes on Ukraine. In Gaza, Israel says it's launched a limited ground operation to retake part of a key corridor in the northern part of the territory. The UN says one of its staffers was killed and 5 others wounded in a strike on a UN guest house. In economic news, the Federal Reserve's keeping its benchmark interest rate unchanged for the time being. Chair Jerome Powell says policymakers do expect the economy to grow more slowly this year than previously thought, but it does seem to be healthy.
I don't know anyone who has a lot of confidence in their forecast. I mean, the point is we are at, we're at a place where we can cut, or we can hold what is clearly a restrictive stance of policy, and that's what I mean. I think that's well positioned. Forecasting right now, forecasting is always very, very hard, and in the current situation, I just think uncertainty is remarkably high.
Stocks climbed on the assessment. The S&P jumped 1.1%, the Nasdaq 1.4%, while the Dow added 383 points, or 0.9%. Another storm system affecting millions across the nation's midsection, blizzard conditions hitting the Midwest and Great Plains, neighboring states at risk of high winds and wildfires. And Pope Francis is improving. The Vatican says he no longer needs mechanical ventilation to help him breathe at night. This is AP News. Attacks on Elon Musk's electric car company Tesla have been rising since President Trump took office and put Musk in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency. Donna Warder has the latest.
The sirens of Tesla vehicles sounded in Las Vegas as video from TMX and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department showed at least one person setting fire to cars in a Tesla collision center parking lot. Resist was spray painted on the building's front door. Trump says Tesla vandalism amounts to domestic terror, and Attorney General Pam Bondi says she'll open an investigation to see who's funding the Tesla vandalism. In the meantime, the FBI is sending a warning, as Special Agent Spencer Evans did in Las Vegas.
It's a federal crime. We will come after you, we will find you, and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Tape courtesy of KTNV. I'm Donna Warder.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
Than the cars standing, though. At least the cars are moving. We are moving all over the place, and now you're moving along with the news of the day. You just got your update from the Associated Press. A little bit later today, we're going to be getting your weather from the National Weather Service. Well, it still exists. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. It's not all crazy. We heard you, Brad. We heard you. I know. Sorry, Mr. President. Everything is cool. All right, hey, we're looking at traffic right now. That is Oleai Beach Road here in Saipan. It's going to be a great one today. I mean, really, the weather is outstanding. And we are going to talk about that. But we're going to talk about that with Landon Adlet from the National Weather Service. He's going to be coming in and letting us know why it looks so great out here and how long we can expect to enjoy this great weather. Well, first of all, the roads, the traffic. Here we go. Let's talk about it. Right now, it actually looks pretty good. Now, you're seeing that it's a little bit slow out in front of us because that's where it goes from 2 lanes down to 1 lane, and that's where it looks all yellow over here from our office all the way down. It gets a little red over there by the ball field. That's where you're seeing the real heavy congestion all the way down to Marianas High School on Beach Road. So if you've got another way to go, you should go that way. Problem is, there's not a lot of different options unless you hop up on top and take Chalmonsenior Martinez, or you try to do what that other guy did and drive through the lagoon and get your way to Garapan. Doesn't really work, though, turns out. Fun fact. Ask the cow. All right, over there by the intersection that matters, where connections matter. It is slow over there by the IT&E intersection where people are kind of stuck trying to get wherever it is that they want to go. Well, you're not going to have to worry about it very long. That light's going to switch and you guys are going to be just fine. Let's keep going down Beach Road though, because once you pass by the mayor's office, it gets slow again, like we said, past the ball field and everything all the way down to MHS. And you finally do get a little bit of relief, but by the time you get down to Mount Carmel, it slows down a little bit again. Over there by Tune Joaquin Doy and the post office intersection, it is definitely slow because of the road construction going on in Conapalooza that's going on in Chalanconoa. Chalanconoa is what they're going to have to change it to with all this road work. Anyway, we've got a little bit of slowdown out in front of the mobile station and the Subway sandwich place and Hopwood. But you're going to be able to get through here pretty soon because it's 7:37. Those schools are going to be getting everybody in there, and you're going to be able to get out of there. All right, let's scoop up over by Guangdong Hardware where everything looks slow, literally in every direction. Everybody is slow in every direction right there, but at least it's not backed up too far. It's only a little bit past the church. If you're going to the south, it's just past Guangdong Hardware if you're trying to head south. And if you're trying to go east or west, it's, you're just waiting at a light. It's not that bad. Over there by Nap, it's looking pretty good too. And then all the way down to Shell Dandam, it looks fine on Shell Monsignor Martinez, but where it slows down is everybody trying to get past CUC/Reventac/Public Lands/Joten/PHI, that giant building that's got every office in it. There's always a bunch of people trying to turn left in there. It slows people down, and that's it. So that's a little bit slow right now, but that's just for this time in the morning. I think everybody knows that one right now. It's not that bad. All right, so heading back around East Drive, let's go through San Vicente, where traffic is aplenty, especially by where the old roundhouse used to be. Folks trying to get from Dandan out to San Vicente, taking a left, trying to hang a Louis over there. It's taking a little bit of time. You can see those guys have been sitting there for a while. Over there in front of the home of the Canaries, it's slow too, as people are trying to drop off their kids and get to where they need to go. It's slow actually on its way up and around the hill to Papago as well. That's usually the sign of a bus and people getting stuck behind a bus. Well, let's keep going all around the Cagman intersection, looking good. And Rodeo Drive of Capitol Hill, that's right, the Capitol Hill Shopping District. It is New Sarah Market, Zenyu Market, and Capitol Hill Market. It's actually not too bad. There's always a lot of people pulling in to get some coffee, get their merienda over there. And I'm curious which one you like the best. Mine has totally changed lately. I have definitely changed. I have a front runner, but I'll talk to you guys about that later once I hear who you like. John Paul Arnold, that's right, Middle Road, looking pretty good all the way down until you start getting into Puerto Rico over by the Marianas Heights building. And then it is a slow go north, it's a slow go south, all the way down to the Navy Hill intersection. And whether you're going up the hill, down the hill, left the hill, right the hill, over the hill, under the hill, you name it, it is a slow go by the Navy Hill intersection. Actually, if you're heading south, it's not that bad. Everyone else, though, not so happy. Little slowdown over there by Garapan Elementary School as people are trying to get their mallards to the school. And then the folks on Middle Road, again, it's painful to look at this. Everywhere between the 99-cent store and the Soda Lore Laundry is just creeping along like TLC. And in fact, even when you get to that intersection, Route 308 is going to be slow when you're trying to, for all those folks who are trying to come down the hill from the big peace sign over there in Garapan. All right, how about past that? Guess what? We rolled the dice. Survey says more traffic. That's right. Everybody trying to get south on Middle Road from Garapan. When you're trying to get past Garapan Central Park, it's slow. But once you get past there, it's not that bad, but you do get a little bit of a holdup when you get over there by the old Brabu and Pacific Amusement. That it's slow for some reason right now, so be careful about that. Beach Road, it looks like a little bit of stop and go on your way along the coastline, not too bad. Middle Road still looks like it's going to be your best option this morning. And after you get to Quartermaster, first of all, the light for people who are going from Beach Road to Quartermaster, you guys made the wrong decision because everywhere on Quartermaster afterwards gets a little bit slow. You should have stayed on Beach Road. Yeah, you still have time to turn around, go ahead and do it. And over there by the Commonwealth Zoning Board, the old IT&E, it's a little bit slow on Beach Middle Road there as well. And that is your first look at traffic this morning. Take a look at all the people on the screen right now who are in their cars. Are they listening to us? Are they watching? If you are out there driving right now on Beach Road in Oleai or San Jose, whatever you want to call it, maybe Susupi you call it, flash your lights if you're in the northbound lane. Let's see if we can see you guys. If that would be the coolest thing. If somebody who's driving right there starts flashing their lights and we can catch it on camera, that would be pretty dope. I see people with their lights on, but just give them a little flash. Let's see. Is it possible? I know this is like that what they tell you to do in court if you're a lawyer. Don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. Well, I mean, I think this is just fun. It's a fun experiment. If you're there, just flick those lights. I know there's a little delay too, so we might not get the people until they're a little bit. It's basically once you pass the gym, if you're heading north, just flick your lights. Let's see if we can see it. It would be so cool if it was that Hilux right there that's just rolling past the mayor's office right now. Wouldn't that be, I would love that one. But I can see the pickups going through. All right, I'm really just gonna go in for another sip of my coffee because I think that's gonna be more fun. All right, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Good Morning Marianas. That's your first look at traffic and news this morning. And we'll give you a little taste of weather before we bring in the big guns from the National Weather Service. Landon Aylick going to be on with us this morning at 8 o'clock. Right now, though, here in Saipan, it's 79 degrees. Looking at a high near 87. Scattered showers throughout the day, partly sunny skies. High near 87, winds out of the east, 11 to 16 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain, and as Landon has told us, when they put the percentage on there, it basically means it's going to rain. So just remember that one. I love that, John William. John, I say they could do that too. Why not? You could do both. Now maybe that's a Thursday thing. They used to have this thing in the mainland. What do they call it? Whip it out Wednesday. We're not doing that though. But that used to, or whip them out Wednesday. But we're not going to be doing that part of the program. That's not our bag, baby. I don't want to get in trouble. There's people watching this at their office. Can't do that. Just cover your eyes. Just cover your eyes. What was that from old school? Earmuffs. There we go. Hey, we're looking at a nice night tonight. By the way, who's out there playing softball during the week? I knew they had the Mayor's Cup was happening, but there's softball happening up at Capitol Hill. Is that a tournament? Is that a league? Can anybody bring me up to speed on that one? I know with everybody who's watching right now, there's people who definitely are in the know. I just don't know what that is. It sounds good. I can hear it now based on where we're at. And while I wait for that, we'll say, hey, good morning to you guys. Good morning, John William, Tobot Castro, the man, the tint. I don't know. You're still going to be the tint man from Dan. You're still Mr. Shady Solutions. Great to see you this morning. Patrick, good to see you this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Who else we got out there? Connie, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Mariano, great to see you this morning. Tuning in all the way from Saipan. That's great too. Man, I thought we should give an out of the blue call to one of my friends here. But hold on, I got to take a couple of these Tylenol here. I'll tell you about that in a minute. That was ineffective. Hold on. I could not get a good swallow because the coffee was too hot. So Tylenol was whacking it back with coffee might not be a good idea. Because I could not get a full-on swallow because that coffee was so hot. And so the Tylenol were stuck to my tongue after 2 tries. So I had to go ahead and take a nice sip of my great part of this morning's breakfast. We've been talking about these all week. They are great. It's from Redcon One. They're the MRE protein shakes. And they say that, when you start getting a certain age, that your body starts losing muscle mass. And one way that you could fight that is by consuming plenty of protein. Bula protein. Well, I got it right here. Guaranteed that's 40 gallons of protein every morning. That's right. All right, maybe not. But 40 grams of protein in every one of these. The whole container is 40 grams. And what do they say? You're supposed to have 1 per gram of your body weight or something. So that's a whole lot of protein you should have throughout the day. And this is one way to make sure that you're getting the protein that you need. And right now, they are on sale. They are $3 at PHI pharmacies. Whether you get them at Dandan, Garapan, or in Cagman, PHI pharmacies has these they're just $3. And if you have a gym membership, it's only 35% off of that even. So imagine, you could do the math, 35% off of $3. And these taste really good too. So the ones that we tried so far this week, we enjoyed the vanilla, which is really smooth, and the cookies and cream, and this one is chocolate. And, they're called MRE, which is the military meal, right? They call it meal ready to eat. Well, this is they should call this MRD, meal ready to drink. It is, this is really good. Now, they say to shake it up really well and then consume it. So 40 grams of protein per carton. There's no sugar and no whey protein. So it's probably casein protein maybe, but whatever type of protein in here, it's not whey. So if your body doesn't process whey protein very well, this one's good. So it's got egg white protein. Hey, eggs might cost $1 million, but these don't. So give them a try. And again, they're sugar-free, which is great. They taste delicious. Each one of the carton itself, right, this whole pack is 230 calories, and it's 200 calories of fuel, of nutrition, what you're doing. You're not just getting like a soft drink or something like that. So think about it. Now, I'm drinking that this morning and eating a banana, so it's a great combo for me. Oh, and apparently drinking coffee and popping Tylenol like it's going out of style. Moving houses was my thing. That's where the Tylenol comes in. I want to say thanks to the guys who came out and helped me last night moving all the big stuff. It's been the last several days of boxing up stuff, bringing it from the old house, bringing it to the new house, unboxing that stuff, taking those boxes back to the old house, putting in more stuff, and bringing it back. And that, which is a constant, continuous flow of stuff. But then you got the big stuff, right? I mean, first of all, that picnic table weighs like 1 billion pounds. I don't know what kind of wood they made it out of. Is there lead wood? I've heard of redwoods, but lead wood, this thing was crazy heavy. You got washer, dryer, all the big stuff, the beds. And so last night, first night, trying to sleep at the new place, and it was pretty cool. So it was nice, and we're looking forward to that change of scenery to be done once we're done with all the moving stuff and being all set up, and things will be a little bit normal. But I'm getting used to a new way of getting to work, and so far so good. Guess what? That tried and true way of getting places on time early in the morning, it really helps by beating the traffic. If you get out there early, it's not a sweat at all. All right, well, guys, 8 o'clock, we're going to have Landon on from the National Weather Service. And we're going to talk about all the things that we've got going on here in the Marianas. And some good news out of the Commonwealth Healthcare Center. We have a new surgeon in town. Like a surgeon. Hey! I know. Weird Al. Calm down. All right, but we do have a new surgeon over there at the hospital. And I'm just not sure how we pronounce it, because of our representative from Precinct 3 is Elias Rangamar. So is this Elias or Elias? I'm going to go with the latter. I have this feeling his last name is pronounced Elias, but CHCC has a new surgeon, Dr. George Elias, and he is pretty well experienced. He's been out there running a center in Maine. Before that, he was at a pretty heavy, high level 2 trauma center in California. It says in a major metropolitan area. Where could that be? I don't know why they're vague about it. Just say what city they're from. I mean, was he down in the LBC on a mission to find Mr. Warren G? I don't know. But either way, we know that he's here. And what's also pretty cool, I would love to get him in here if he's like in between surgeries, because he was also an officer and he graduated from West Point. How about that? United States Military Academy at West Point. The quote that we've got from him, from CHC, says, "I became a physician not only to fulfill because it not only fulfills my desire for lifelong learning and commitment to healing others in all aspects of life, physically, mentally, and spiritually, but it also effectively brings out the best of who I am, dedicating myself to the health and welfare of others. The moment I meet someone in the office or at the hospital, my practice philosophy is to treat them like a member of my own family. In doing so, I expect nothing less than provide the highest level of care and support as I would expect someone else to care for my own loved ones." How about that? So that's from our new surgeon, Dr. George Elias. That's the pronunciation we're going with. We think that's what it is. He seems like a pretty good guy from the press release. We haven't met him, but press release makes him sound like a champ. Maybe you're going to see him around town. Saipan is a small enough place where you might just bump into him. And if you're wondering who he is, well, let's see if I can't. We got the share screen. I just need to change the window. Come on. There we go. Now you can know. That is our new surgeon here in the CNMI, George Elias, the doctor who you might see if you are in need. So if you see him around town, give him a welcome. Say thanks, welcome to Saipan, and hopefully if I find myself in your care, you take care of me. Now, we do have other docs here that have been here for a while who are doing good things too. And one of them is Dr. Marty Roringer. He just got an MRO certification achievement. I'm not sure what that is, but let's hear about it. He just received this certification from the American Association of Medical Review Officers. It's a nonprofit medical society that establishes national standards and certifies professionals in drug and alcohol testing. This certification highlights his dedication to upholding the highest standards of quality, ethics, and confidentiality in the medical review process. That's great. It says the role of an MRO is crucial in ensuring the accuracy and integrity of federally regulated drug testing programs. MROs verify drug test results, assess potential alternative medical explanations for positive findings, and safeguard the privacy of individuals undergoing testing. Their expertise is vital in balancing workplace safety with individual rights while upholding due process principles. And CHCC is very proud of him. That I just summarized that last bit. You probably know Dr. Marty. He's been around here in Saipan for a long time as well. And we can definitely, if you see him, give him a pat on the back. Say congratulations on your certification. We see him. We count on him for stuff every day anyway. And now he just adds another certification to his belt. Dr. Marty, congratulations. Well done. You think that's it for CHC? And an extra C? Well, you're wrong, because there's more. They also have 9 kids who recently graduated from the Healthy Outcomes for Maternal and Early Childhood program. It's called HOME. It says families received parenting support and education services along with assistance in connecting to various resources in the community. The HOME Visiting Program provides a nationally recognized evidence-based home curriculum to the families in the CNMI. These services support strengthening a family's role as her child's first teacher and in creating a safe and healthy environment for young children. A home visitor may work with a family from pregnancy until the child turns 3 years of age, with an option to stay in the program until the age of 5. Some of the examples of services that you can get are helping with access to prenatal care, connecting families to resources in the community, helping parents access preventative medical visits for their infants or children, transportation assistance to medical care, and learning parenting skills to create a safe and healthy environment at home. And they gave us an adorable photo for this one as well. Again, CHCC doing some pretty cool things out there. Let's get this one. This is their graduation for these little kiddos. Look at that. I like the conductor in the back of the room. I absolutely love it. These kids look so happy with their little outfits and all that other stuff. So the hospital, our Department of Public Health, getting some stuff done, and I love it. There's more to this. It says the home visiting program began 12 years ago, began in 2013 and has served over 600 families in the CNMI. The program is free and available on Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda. And if you want some more information to get into that program, give them a call, 664-8701, 664-8702. You can also email them at uline.fitial@chcc.health. That's uline.fitial@chcc.health. And there's no F. Yeah, Arlene, he does look like a young doctor, right? Hey, I'll take it. I am not an ageist when it comes to the doctor at all. Yeah. Yeah, John William, that's right. I don't know. You can ask him. You might need a personal confrontation. How about the MRI is right? That's a good one. Arlene. Sorry, when I was going through and knocking out those two announcements from CHC, I totally missed the comments. Arlene, you got me in stitches. I'm telling you, that was great. Good morning, Cy China. See, now I think you could change it. I wouldn't call it Cy China. I would say maybe Chai Pan. It's a little bit easier. It's close. But, I'll tell you, as long as we get Cy cheese food or like the food, clearly that's an important thing for me. And I'm a fan. I am definitely a fan of the food. Oh man, I need to ask Kathy what food, while we're going back and forth to doing all the moving, she brought home some food from some restaurant. It was some kind of Thai food, but I don't know what Thai place she brought it from because it was good and it was kind of in a bento box. That I'm not used to seeing that kind of style from the old Thai places. And it was outstanding. It was great. All right, so that was your wrap up from the folks at CHCC. Now, I would go for a commercial, but we can't go for a commercial because we are going to call the guy that we wanted to speak with yesterday, and we just couldn't get to him. So we're going to do this first. We're going to reach out, and then I'm going to connect him on the screen with you. Because I know he's here and ready to go, waiting on us. Holy cow, it only took an extra day to make this work. But with us on the screen anyway, we've got Landon Ayla, our number one meteorologist. I mean, when it comes to meteorologists, you are mostly sunny with a chance of...
I try to be mostly sunny. Sunny and bright.
All right, hey, I'm trying to make sure I get the right screen up there for you. Hold on one second, and I think I'm going to get it.
I had to turn my Wi-Fi off. I'm like on the office Wi-Fi that's so sketchy, so I think it should be better now.
All right, well, I just need to change your name and your title because you are not Aubrey Huckog, the mayor of Rhoda, although I bet you could be if you wanted to.
I'll talk to the mayor about that.
She's great. We had her on the show yesterday, and we got to hear about the big Galita festival that's happening this weekend. Have you been down the Rhoda recently?
I have not been to the festival, nor have I been to Rhoda recently. I was hoping to get up to Saipan in April, but that trip got canceled, so I will not be up there in April. I'm going to be talking to Joey and the folks at Homeland Security in the next week or so and figure out the game plan for the year. As many of us are aware, there's a lot of shakeup in the federal government, and
I'm not aware.
Travel, yeah, you're not.
No.
All the travel is mission critical or essential, mission essential travel only, and so we have to justify our means and our ways to do our things out here. And of course, where we live in a region where you can't just get in a car and drive, it's going to be a lot of hoops to jump through. But I hope to get up there at some point in the coming months, especially as we go into the typhoon preparedness month of June and start looking at tropical cyclones for later in this year. I'm going to be kicking off that typhoon seasonal outlook probably with the Climate Prediction Center, maybe in another couple weeks, and we hope to have that release around June 1st with the Atlantic and the National Hurricane Center.
Wow, man, I have been pleasantly distracted from all the worst weather that could ever hit us for a while. And I would like to keep it that way, but you just all of a sudden reminded me. I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even think about that. By the way, I know you're about to get into it and everything, but you got a whole bunch of people weighing in the comments saying good morning, half a day, and welcome back.
Good morning, everybody. And so, yeah, let's talk about the weather. Let me see. What is your biggest question? I'm kidding. That's only in emergencies. But let me turn that screen around. This is what we're looking at. And of course, that might not look like Saipan and Tinian right now, but this is in Waliai and far eastern Yap State and western Chuk State. There's Weno and Chuk over here. Waliai is right over here. I was talking to Stanley, my disaster coordinator over there on Waliai, and it's amazing because just in my years here in Guam, things have changed so significantly that what used to be a once a week contact with him, I'm able to connect with him and talk almost on a daily basis. So that it's really phenomenal to be able to have contact with the outer islands like that. And so we're passing along a lot of information with water catchments there. The rain reservoirs were all filled overnight with some showers that went through. So that's definitely good news for them. Far cry from where they were a year ago. But up in the CNMI, not so bad. We have a little burst of lightning just southeast of or southwest of Guam, but very quiet. We're looking at the colorized infrared radar or the satellite. So it doesn't show much. I'm still waiting for some daytime imagery to come through. And right now it's a jumble because we're going into the daytime hours and we just don't have that many frames to look at. But the colorized infrared, all dark, so that means you're looking at the warmer temperatures, those surface layer temperatures of the water. We're getting a little bit of a wisp of some clouds moving through Saipan, spotty showers. So you probably have some wet roads out there for your morning commute, but not that bad, not that much to speak of. We're going to see these showers linger around through the day and possibly into the overnight hours before they dry out for the weekend. It looks like a mighty fine weekend. We were talking about some rising surf, and that's with that shear line up here to the northwest. That will not be retreating, that will not be sinking down over the CNMI towards Saipan. It's going to stall out and keep to your northwest, but those winds that are punching down just north of that boundary, that is generating some larger swell that's going to be moving in from the north and the northwest, building in on Friday. The likelihood of hazardous surf, 9 feet or greater along north and west reefs, doesn't look likely at this point. We're going to probably get a boost in surf up to around 7 or 8 feet along north and west facing reefs, but not hazardous officially by our technical terms. But those rip currents, they will be getting a little bit stronger as the waves build larger. Those rip currents will also respond accordingly.
No kidding. Well, I mean, it looks like we've got a beautiful lineup. Again, just a little bit of drizzle, nothing too much. I mean, a little bit of rain here and there probably doesn't hurt anything. We could use that. But
yeah, y'all are still dealing with a severe drought. That's D2 is rated by the U.S. Drought Monitor. That's for Saipan and Tin. Y'all are the driest place in the region, with the exception of the Northern Marshall Islands. So we're going to be watching you all closely as well, the Northern Marshall Islands. But every shower helps.
Yeah, and I mean, so when it was raining the other day, I felt like it. I didn't realize that it hadn't rained in a while, but it was like, wow, like I forgot about this. Yeah, it is.
It's really nice. And my dad's over here visiting from North Carolina, and he's using my Jeep Wrangler, so I'm going to probably pull the doors off and let him have it. And if it rains, he'll get wet. It's a true Jeep experience.
It'll be just like one of his golf balls, probably, finding the water. So Landon sent some footage of his. Who is that with your dad?
Oh my gosh, that's Amanda Bateman. She's one of the directors. She's a school band director here at JFK High School, and she's also with the Guam Territorial Band. And she's from my hometown. She came over here to the Tumon Bay Music Festival back in 2013, 2014, and fell in love with the region. So she graduated college with a degree in music and came over to Guam to live. So she's been here. She came here during the first year of COVID and almost left because it just wasn't connecting. I said, give it one more year.
No
And
kidding.
it really panned out for her. So she was out there golfing. She has a little bit more experience than my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad, not, you know,
I thought you were putting her
we had
personal
fun.
safety at risk by having her right next to him. When I was watching him play, so Landon sent this video of his dad and Amanda. They're at the driving range in Guam, right? Now, Landon's dad is not what you would say good. And
Tiger Woods?
Yeah, he's not Tiger Woods. He's Tiger in the woods. And if it gets there. And I was watching it, it's a smile, like, oh, that's nice, your dad sucks at golf. But, it's like he's just shooting a ball. But then he ended up hitting one of the little markers, like, out of the blue, and I'm just like, it just came out of nowhere, because I was not expecting it to be as funny, but it was great. That was excellent.
We had a blast. My goal was only to hit the ball and hit it farther than a couple of my friends, and I think I succeeded.
As long as you can hit it farther than your dad's ball, you're fine.
There's no strategy whatsoever. It's just hit the ball hard.
So
That's how I do billiards.
That works. So I take it you're not one of those golfing businessmen types who goes out there and hits the links.
No, I'll probably cause some damage to the course.
I had never golfed in Guam, but I went to, I don't remember the names of all the villages and like where they are in relation to each other. Like, here's what I know. I know some of the villages in the south. I know, of course, Tumon and Tamuning. That's pretty easy, right? Dedadu, got that. Jigo, got that.
Dedadu,
like the main road villages. But all, like, Mangilao, I have no idea where that is. I know it's in Guam, but, like, I don't know, like, if I were to point at a map and tell me where's Mangilao, all right, where's Sinahan, I have no idea, but, like, Irahan, I know where that is. Agatnia, I know where that is, but, like, then after that gets a little sketchy, right? So,
it gets sketchy.
I think it's on that back road is where the golf course is that I saw. I think that's where it was. And it's got this gorgeous view. Like where they have the restaurant and everything. So I only ate there. Mm-hmm. I didn't actually play there, but it looks like a majestic golf course, like a place I'd really want to try.
That is gosh, I can't remember the name. I ate there a couple years ago before COVID, and it's beautiful, fantastic view. My favorite time is when it's raining, because you can just watch all the rain and its beauty.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's like it's that scene out of the movie or Magnum PI. Like that's what that is. So, what's going on new with you guys?
Status quo over here. We're just pumping through programs and projects and all the shifts in the federal government, which I'm not going to go into those details since we're not allowed to talk about it. But the mission continues, and so the weather and climate is out here screaming, and so we're going to scream right back at it. But we're here to stay for the region. But Lincoln Log wise, we do have a project that's the month of the military child coming up in April, I believe. And so we're going to be taking up some logs to the Anderson Elementary School to do a small project with the elementary kids. I think it's going to be the weekend of April 7th and 8th. We're going to be building through the weekends. I just do something small. It's not going to be a full inventory project. It's going to be more of a third of our block inventory. Just something fun, simple, and easy. We're going to have some DOD hands on display to help us put them up, and we're gonna have fun.
A third of your block inventory is still a considerable amount of blocks. How many trucks and helicopters do you need to bring all those over?
Hopefully just the one helicopter. It's going to be a Marine Corps passenger helicopter. But hopefully just 2 vehicles. That's the goal.
Nice. Now, I think that means, I don't even know what kind of vehicle you drive, but I figure it should be a Lincoln. I think that makes the most sense.
It's a Jeep.
It's a Jeep. You did talk about the doors. All right. Well, I'm glad that we've got some good weather coming our way, and it's still going to be here for a little bit. And I know if anything scary happens, you're going to be there for us and letting us know what's coming our way as well. But right now, it just looks like the Pacific is rather pacified, and we'll take that all day.
That's exactly it. We're in the heat of dry season, March, the driest month of the year for the region. Just these spotty showers, and of course, you're not seeing too many of those showers up in the Doppler weather radar imagery because they're all riding in under the radar. And we're looking at about 16,000 feet up in the atmosphere in Saipan. So a lot of those showers, they're probably about 10 to 12,000 feet up in vertical height. So no lightning, just some spotty showers that'll get the road wet and move right on by.
Yeah, we were watching them last night, those puffy clouds just making their way out to the west, and it was just fine. So we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. Hey,
yes, the doldrums.
I know you follow all the stuff that happens in the area. Are there any other like weather or geo, any other kind of things happening in the region that maybe won't affect us directly, but is there anything interesting happening around?
Yeah, nothing much in the region. I was talking to Josh Brazel up there in Saipan several days ago about a lunar eclipse that was not visible except for a small fraction from the Mariana Islands. But our next lunar eclipse will be a total lunar eclipse, and I believe that's going to be around September 7th this year. So set your calendar September 7th for a total lunar eclipse coming to the region.
All right.
But weather-wise, not much to speak of. Sunday, that's March 23rd, is World Meteorological Day. I'll be speaking to the meteorology students at Rizal Technical University. So if anybody up in Saipan went to Rizal Technical University, I'll be speaking to them Saturday virtually this Saturday afternoon about World Meteorological Day. I'll be highlighting the importance of partnerships and working together across the region and multiple agencies to get the job done of protecting life and property.
Well, that's really cool. How did they find you? Or did you know people from there?
You know, I've known several people from the Pagasa area. That's our Philippine counterpart with the weather agency, but that was years ago. How the students found me, I'm not sure. I think a lot of it came from Facebook interactions and different weather-related pages, but really heavily was Typhoon Mawar when we were doing those live broadcasts. I met people from all around the world during those live broadcasts, including a travel nurse who lived in Saipan back in the 90s, and she now lives in Rwanda. She saw me on Al Jazeera News and reached out to me to see if we needed help with more travel nurses to come to the region. And so people watch us when we do these Facebook Live broadcasts. It does receive a global audience, especially when it's a major disaster that's striking the region. Technology and communications are unlike they've never been before. And so this is a newspaper from 1976. I'm actually doing some work on Typhoon Pamela, trying to find some information.
Is that the actual newspaper?
Archive. This is the actual newspaper, the Sunday News, I think the Pacific Daily News from May 23rd, 1976.
Wow, look at that.
And so I've got a whole stack of these old newspapers, and it's amazing to look through these old papers and the advertisements, the articles and things going on back in those days.
So I have kept a bunch of old newspapers over the years, and for like a particular story or a headline or something. But what becomes more fascinating is when I would have thought about just clipping out the story. Now I keep the whole thing so I can look at all the other stuff, thing. Like the advertisements that are in there, like, oh, try Chesterfield cigarettes, like all those kind of things, you name it. They're in there. The other stories about like, there's a dog that was missing yesterday and people are still out looking for it, whatever it is.
The funny thing is, I'm looking through some of these articles, and some of our frequent headlines of like funding problems at GMH, they're still headlines decades ago. And so it's really weird to see some of these reoccurring themes that have carried us through our local history. And it's like, okay, someday they got to be resolved. But, it's something to talk about.
I love it. All right. Well, Landon, the man, the myth, the legend, thanks so much for coming in today. You were going to be on yesterday, and it just became a nonstop parade of information with our Washington representative, with our mayor of Rhoda. Then we had folks from Guam coming up from talk baseball about Cal Ripken and Babe Ruth baseball.
I really like the discussions and the ideas about a ferry connecting the islands. And I saw that car that was in the water in Saipan. Is that the ferry?
We're floating. It's trial and error, and we're getting
there. A lot of error.
Yeah, you have to learn it first. We found out we can't drive to Guam. So
will it float? Will it float?
well, at least we figured it out. We have determined.
Concentrate and ask again. So we'll revisit that.
I love it. Awesome. Landon, thanks so much for taking some time to be with us this week, and we'll do it again next week.
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right. Take care. That's Landon Aidlet
See you later, Brad.
from the National Weather Service, keeping us up to date with the weather that's happening in our region and all the good stuff that they're doing for the folks in Guam. Wouldn't it be cool if we had these guys here in Saipan? What if we had our own cool weather station? Well, you can have your own weather station. You can be part of Weather Ready Nation. All you have to do is reach out to these guys and find out how you can be a part of that. All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to start digging into what's happening here in the CNMI. So don't go too far. We're not going too far. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Is built. We lead by example, persistence of build. Be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence of build. Be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're gonna go fast.
March 20th, 2003. American and British forces invade Iraq from neighboring Kuwait. Associated Press correspondent Ross Simpson is with the U.S. Marines.
They knocked out a T-55 Iraqi tank and engaged some mechanized infantry just a few minutes after we crossed the berm that separates Iraq from Kuwait.
2004. The U.S. military charges 6 American soldiers with abusing prisoners at Abu Ghraib prison outside Iraq's capital, Baghdad. 1815. France's Napoleon Bonaparte returns to Paris and regains power after escaping exile on the island of Elba. Napoleon is driven back into exile months later after his defeat at the Battle of Waterloo. 1852. Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe's influential novel condemning slavery, is first published. The book intensifies divisions in the United States over slavery less than a decade before the Civil War breaks out. 1995. In Tokyo, a doomsday cult releases the poisonous gas sarin on 5 subway trains. The attack kills a dozen people and sickens more than 5,500 others. And 1969. Musician John Lennon of the Beatles marries artist Yoko Ono in Gibraltar. Today in history, March 20th. Mike Gracia, The Associated Press.
It is a pleasure to meet you and welcome.
Player number 14, Ian Newman.
It's a great day to be up 3-0. I'll tell you that. It probably is not great to be down 3-0.
I'm Brad Rosala, and I'm the owner for Commonwealth Communications.
And I am Jojo Alipuzu. I am the owner of Island Image and Ocean.
And this is our joint venture, Sideline Studios. This whole concept that we have of doing all these live stream productions and covering news and doing live shows and everything, it wouldn't happen if we didn't have a great partner like IT&E, someone who could handle the bandwidth and provide it and then get us what we need when we need it, and then be a real partner for us for all the events, whether we're doing live sporting events, broadcasts. All of these things happen because of our partnership with IT&E.
With IT&E providing us with the fiber and point-to-point and even the MBRs, it's just a great piece of equipment to use when we're broadcasting our sports, our events, our performances, especially our cultural performances. And it's just great to share our culture here in the Marianas with the world. And IT&E has been there from the get-go.
The thing I like best about working with IT&E is how willing they are to come out and find a solution. Even for Liberation Day, we thought we had a pretty good solution for our live stream setup, and it turns out that we did not have the right setup that we thought we needed. That day, just before the parade, reached out to Paul and said, here's our situation. What do you think? He's like, we're gonna figure this out. While he's sitting there barbecuing, getting ready for the parade to start, he starts burning up the phone lines, calling everybody in IT&E, what can we do, what's the right solution? They left their families to do this stuff and get us the equipment that we needed to broadcast live. That's over and above. That's on a holiday. That's when he was out there spending time with his family.
That's why IT&E is just the best, just really in touch with the people and the community.
I recommend IT&E to everybody. Tell them the options are there, and you could choose whoever you want and then figure out what you think is the best. But when you're ready, when you're tired of having your calls disconnected or not having service, then you reach out to the guys from IT&E.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. President Trump spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today, following up on yesterday's call with Vladimir Putin. Amar Madani reports.
One of the things that came up in the call with Zelensky was a desire for air defense systems for Ukraine. Trump told Zelensky he would look into it. Zelensky particularly wants Patriot missile systems.
Ukraine's power plants also came up, including the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, taken over early in the war by Russia.
Trump told Zelensky, how about considering American ownership of some of these power plants, that would be a way to best ensure security for these facilities in the long term. It's unclear if this idea is going to go anywhere, but it was offered up.
Israel says its troops have retaken part of a corridor that bisects Gaza. The defense minister warning attacks will intensify until Hamas frees hostages and gives up control of the territory. The Justice Department's resisting a federal judge's demand for more information about the weekend flights that took deportees to El Salvador. And Donna Warder has the latest DOJ move.
An email obtained by the Associated Press says Trump administration political appointee Peter Marocco will now serve as the State Department's head of foreign assistance. Marocco was serving as deputy head of the U.S. Agency for International Development, overseeing, along with DOJ, the gutting of more than 80% of USAID contracts and shifting the remaining programs under the State Department. Marocco sent the email to State Department staff on Tuesday, the same day a federal judge in Maryland indefinitely blocked DOJ from making further cuts to USAID, saying Elon Musk and DOJ appear to have no constitutional authority for their efforts to help the Trump administration shut down state and USAID foreign assistance funding, fire staffers, and end humanitarian and development contracts. Donna Warder, Washington.
And in Japan, the Dodgers beat the Cubs 6-3 to sweep their two-game season-opening series. This is AP News. The Fed is keeping its benchmark interest rate unchanged. But Chair Powell acknowledges there's uncertainty.
Inflation has started to move up now, we think partly in response to tariffs, and there may be a delay in further progress over the course of this year.
Seth Sutel has reaction in the AP Markets Report.
Stocks closed higher on Wall Street after the Federal Reserve said the economy still looks healthy enough to keep interest rates where they are. The S&P 500 jumped 1.1% Wednesday. The gains accelerated following the Fed's announcement in the afternoon. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 383 points. It's about 0.9%. The Nasdaq Composite rose 1.4%. The rally followed weeks of sharp swings driven by uncertainty around President Donald Trump's trade war. Wall Street also got a boost from easing yields in the bond market. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note dropped to 4.24%. Seth Sutel, New York.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
All right, let's try that again. So there's this thing with the AP where there is like a mid-update pause, and I fell for it. I wasn't looking at it, and I was just listening for the natural break. It seemed like it had been gone for just about that much time, and it was. I was a little early. That happens. It happens. I was looking at your comments, by the way. First of all, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with us. Sean Egwell, great to see you this morning. Thanks for coming in. And Sasha, thank you for watching today. This is great. Bruce, dude. That was UOG. Oh, man. Well, there's something way out there by that golf course, that back road. I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's a good-looking place. But I saw in the comments, they're like, oh, Bobby, good morning. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Great to see you. We did see, it says DPL director resigned recently. Oh, we do have that for sure, because I know we talked about it yesterday. Hold on. And that's one of the things that we're hoping to get more of an update from the folks over there at DPL, especially about who's going to be acting. Because as we pop this on the screen for you, hold on one second, and we'll get ourselves back on there. Pew, and where's the other one? Pew, there we go. This is the letter that was out that we talked about. We talked about this yesterday, but here's the thing, is that today that was it. So the Secretary of Public Lands resigned. It says effective April 11th, but she submitted this on Friday, and you see it was received at 2:21 on Friday. But then this week, like yesterday, was basically her last day, because now she's taking the rest of her leave that she's got banked. And that's a tough one. So do we know what happened? Well, we did get some letters of complaints against her from the staff, and I would feel a lot better letting more of that flush itself out. But let's just say this: there were some complaints. There were written complaints from people who work for public lands about the secretary, and they submitted those to the folks who are the heads of the different government agencies. Oh, let's see. I mean, do I have that in this folder? I'm not going to post them here, but I could tell you that they're not flattering letters. Let's see if I pull that up here. We're going to save that into that same folder. One second. Give me a quick second. Are those under pictures? They are under pictures. And I'm not going to talk about the names that are in there, but we'll talk about like what's in it a little bit. And we'll save that one as well. And let's just look at it. All right. Let's pop that up over here. All right, so here's one, and here's the other one. So these are written. One was written from and submitted on March 4th. One was from February 3rd. And so I'll just go like some of the bullet points that are in here. One is bullying and harassment. One's discrimination. This one has 8. Harassment and bullying, micromanagement, excessive monitoring and stalking, pre-constructive discharge, not sure what that is, breach of confidentiality, retaliation, disparaged treatment, and violation of the ADA, the American Disabilities Act. It's kind of a big deal for us. It's not great, and it's and it was within a month, I guess, when that came out, or when those things were submitted. The first one was from February February 3rd. And the other one is a month later on March 4th. So, and then it was within 10 days of that where she resigned. Again, we're not mentioning the names. And I'm reading it, and I'm trying to filter some of this, so you know, the anonymity of the person who's in it. Well, not anonymity, but like just protecting the person who makes the complaint. Like I don't want to put them out there. But you know, some of it is people who feel like they were being targeted, and again, bullying, harassment. So that's the thing. So anyway, it looks like she's using the rest of her leave. She said for personal stuff. The workers probably went on a strike to oust her. I don't really know. It says maybe a massive power trip and micromanagement. Maybe. I don't know. But I'll tell you, it's an interesting dance. Like, I've managed a team of like 60 people, and I've managed a small team of like 3 to 4 people. And you've got to do things differently when you're doing that. Like it's a different operation. Like when you've got a small team, like 3 or 4 people or less, you know, there's a lot of hands-on stuff where you all got to be in there together. And when you got a big team of like 60, you've got to assign folks to manage at the smaller level. And you just basically, for that one, you can be hands-on, but you also, it's a tough dance to not micromanage. You just have to have trust in the people that you appoint to those managerial positions beneath you. So that, and give them the support they need to do their job and get them ready for their next step as they get their folks ready for their next step. So it's really good stuff. This is very unfortunate. Some of our leaders cannot handle leadership by respecting their employees. Respect should be from the top down. 100% respect from the top down, because the way you treat your managers is the way they're going to treat their subordinates, right? You treat them with respect, and some of it, it's generational, right? Some of it is generational, and how they were treated. Maybe they didn't have great people that they worked for previously, and they saw that as their role model. Parents, listen up. I mean, this is how your kids are going to be. But maybe that's their only influence that showed them how people lead is by doing it. I'm not saying that that's what happened with in this particular scenario. I've never worked a day with the former secretary, so I have no input onto that. Just talking managerial and how you deal with it. But yelling at folks doesn't really work. Not if you want to get stuff out of them. It might make you feel pretty good for a little while, but you know, especially not today. Imagine yelling at folks who can whip out cards and say, "Oh, I'm stressed out. I need to go home." People who take mental health days, stuff like that. You gotta. It's different now, you know. And ultimately, you want to get the most out of the team that you're working with. And you have to know them. You have to know what they're capable of. You have to know what their strengths and weaknesses are. And sometimes, I mean, you can't be the expert of those people right away, especially if you're appointed and you just come in. That's why when people come into like especially like the new appointees, when you see them come in and start making changes like right away, oh God. The hardest part about that is that how can you possibly know what works and what doesn't work when you first get there? Some of the best advice I got when I took over this one as an executive for this one company, they said, you know, just try not to make any changes for the first year. Find out what works and what doesn't work, and then you can and mold it from there. And that's what we did. But while that was the plan, the other thing that we went about doing was just trying to make sure that we could improve the quality of life for everybody who was there and find out different ways to do that. And then we started doing some things that were really exciting for me. I was happy about it. And I almost went into a whole thing about like what I was very excited about, what I did there. I'm going to pull that one
aside. But the cool thing is, you take your time, figure out what it is that works, and if you're appointed to run an organization, it's not like somebody giving you a cape and saying that you have to be Superman or Superwoman to fix everything. You got to see what it is. Maybe they got too many people. Maybe they do some things they shouldn't do. Maybe somebody is sleeping in their truck in their driveway instead of being out there doing what they're supposed to do. Who knows what it is? But you got to do it. And you still, even with the person that you view as your least valuable employee, you could still deal with them respectfully. And if they have to be removed or reassigned or something, sure. Yelling at them, it will not take you anywhere. It will not help you. Take a breath. Go for a walk. That extra 5 minutes that you use to change your temperament in that moment can really save you. It could save you a lot of frustration, and it'll help you process the situation a lot better. But that blind yelling stuff does not work. Trust me, I know. It does not work. Sometimes it's a try and fail kind of thing. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with failing. Fail forward. Just keep working on it. You will get it. You will definitely get it. But the best thing is, there's an ideology when it comes to dealing with people, and I got to learn it through the Pacific Century Fellowship. Jerry Tan started this organization, not here, but he started it here, but he's not the one who started it. But Mufi Hannemann, former mayor of Honolulu, started this program to mirror the White House Fellowship program, and it's called the Pacific Century Fellows. And he did it because he wanted to start a network throughout the Pacific of future leaders so that we all figure out how to network together so that we can do better together throughout the Pacific. And Jerry, at some point, had conversations with Mufi and said, hey, why don't we bring that out here to Saipan? He's like, yeah, why don't we? And so I think 2014 was the first year. And it was a professional development program, and then it went to networking and everything. But one of the tenets of the whole program is called servant leadership, and it's something that would help a lot of leaders, whether they're elected, appointed, public or private sector, and it's about the value of developing your employees, even if it's going to make them eventually not your employee, but they're going to be in our community. And that even though that, identifying like who you got working for it, even if you got a superstar, you want to keep them forever to help your company, but that might not be the best thing. They're going to grow and want to do other stuff. So to cultivate the talent that's there and develop them, and if they go, at least you got someone else in your community who's like really talented and thoughtful and courteous and considerate with regards to the folks that they work with and they interact with. It's such a great program, and it's called Servant Leadership. There are books about it, and oh my gosh, I can't believe his name escapes me right here, but let me see if I can't find the author. Oh, let's see if I can't find it. I'm just looking for the name to pop up real quick. Somebody pops me up in the, let's see. No. Kent Keith? I think that's it. I think that's who it is. Yeah, Kent Keith. He wrote a couple of books on servant leadership. And we got to hear from him directly as part of it. And I'll tell you what, yeah, sometimes these leaders just need a hug, and then hugs work, man. I'm looking in the comments. Hey, that's true. It's true. Sometimes people just need a hug. Anyway, let me get back to it. So
he wrote these books about servant leadership, and we received them as part of the program. And well, I'll tell you what a game changer that is as far as leadership. Like, I feel like if all of the cabinet level folks got something like this, I know they have a real job to do, right? But if they could get a one-day session similar to like what we received through the Pacific Century Fellowship, where they could get that, I think it would change entire branches of government, not just a branch, but I mean entire departments and divisions in a short amount of time, and letting that philosophy of leadership really just kind of percolate throughout our community would be amazing. And it did a lot for us, and I think it changed like a whole generation of folks. And we're still all networked throughout the whole Pacific Century Fellows. And we're the Marianas chapter, but we got to meet folks from all over. In fact, you've seen them in the news with regards to the military, especially with the United States Marine Corps. Major General Mark Hashimoto, he is a member of the Pacific Century Fellowship. So when we met with him on multiple occasions, and when I met with him when I was working for a DOD, and when I was giving him a tour around Tinian in the MLA, the military lease area, the northern 2/3, and asked him, in our regular conversation about Hawaii and everything, I'm like, hey, have you heard about Pacific Century Fellows? And he's like, yeah, I'm a class of 2000. I'm like, no way. So it was pretty cool. That's that networking goes like that out of the blue. I guarantee that in 2000, when he was part of that fellowship, that he didn't think that like 20 years later he was going to meet some Holly dude on the island of Tinian, give him a tour that's also part of that same fellowship program. So it's definitely something that would definitely help a lot of the leaders. It gives you a great change of perspective when it comes with how you're going to deal with folks. And I think it's a plus for anybody. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we are going to take a real quick break before we get out of here. We'll hit a couple other things that are out there today. Oh, yeah, we did. It's cool. We got the. We'll just talk about that when we come back. Let's do that. We will talk about what we've got coming up when we come back. So don't stick around. We'll see you in a little bit.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
All right, good morning, Marianas. It is 8:48 in the morning, and it is still a beautiful day out here in the islands. My gosh, Saipan. We got it started off with a little bit of rain early just to get the roads slick to slow us down in the morning. But right now it is partly cloudy. It's 81 degrees outside and partly sunny is what we're looking at for the rest of the day. Scattered showers possible. They say the chance of rain is 30% today. Winds out of the east 11 to 16 miles per hour. Tonight it's going to be a little bit cooler, especially if for folks in the higher elevations. Lows around 76. The wind's going to die down just a touch. And tomorrow you're in luck because it's mostly sunny skies, high near 87. How about Saturday? Mostly sunny skies, high near 87. How about Sunday? Mostly sunny skies, high near 87. It looks like we're going to have an amazing weekend, and it couldn't be in time because it's a long weekend too, because Monday is Covenant Day. That's right, it is the covenant, the day where we celebrate the covenant between the United States and the Northern Mariana Islands. The Commonwealth, not the territory. That's right, Gerald Ford made it so, like Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And it's a big deal for us, and we're very fortunate that we got to be part of a documentary where we got to speak with folks who were the crafters, some of the crafters who put the covenant together, part of the negotiations between our trust territory and the United States. And it's a beautiful document, but it really is. It represents the interests of the folks from the CNMI. Again, after the plebiscite, where overwhelmingly people decided that they wanted to be part of the United States, they had to go to work and figure out how that was going to look. And they did. It was approved. Gerald Ford signed it. And there we are. We are going to celebrate that on Monday. So when you guys, if you're a local employee working for the local government, you are going to enjoy a nice long weekend, and well-deserved at that. Speaking of signing things into law, well, we've got something that our Congresswoman is trying to make a law. Well, at least to try to get us included into something that's already there. Have you heard of Essential Air Service? No? Come on. You must have. Well, we're going to tell you a little bit about it right now. And here, let me open this up so I can show you guys. But before I do, one second. Let me go to it. Where is it? Where is it? This one. You guys can't see that part yet. But, where are we? Come on, you Essential Air Service. I got all this stuff for the doctor stuff on there. And I had other stuff I was going to talk about with March Madness, too. But Essential Air Service, where are you? My magic tab of justice here. Here we go. Essential Air Service. So basically, Essential Air Service program is put into place to guarantee that communities like ours that were served by regular air carriers, that we are served by regular air carriers, for the minimum level of scheduled air service. The other thing is it means that we could get some subsidies so that, you know how United is not exactly cheap, understatement. Well, if we get under the Essential Air Service plan, that we could get some federal subsidies to help lower the cost of inter-island air service. Something we could definitely do. Now, to this end, our Congresswoman, Kimberly King Hines, who was on the show yesterday, which was great, by the way, she is trying to get us into this program. And boy, would we be happy if that works. So here it is. This is the letter. This is the press release that they just released while we were sleeping, or as we were waking up. Congresswoman Kimberly King Hines introduced House Resolution 2132, a landmark bill aimed at reestablishing eligibility for the Northern Marianas airports to participate in the U.S. Department of Transportation's Essential Air Service program. Essential Air Service, created in 1978, to ensure that small, rural U.S. communities, once served by certificated airlines prior to deregulation, maintain vital air service connections. The program was intended to prevent airlines from abandoning less profitable, low-traffic communities in favor of larger, more lucrative markets. In 1978, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan were all designated as eligible for EAS assistance. So what happened? She speaks further. CNMI previously benefited from this program, with Continental Air Micronesia receiving temporary EAS subsidies in 82 and 84 to provide air service to Rota. However, with the passage of the FAA Modernization and Reform Act of 2012, over 600 communities nationwide lost their eligibility for EAS funding because the CNMI, thanks Obama, because the CNMI airports were no longer operating EAS routes at the time, they became ineligible for future assistance. Today, EAS continues to support more than 150 communities across the United States, ensuring essential air service for rural and isolated regions. And here's the quote from the Congresswoman. Air travel within the CNMI is prohibitively expensive, and flying to Guam comes with sky-high costs. While we have service now, we risk losing it if our current carriers decide to discontinue serving routes to the islands. The Essential Air Service program is crucial for providing stability. If a carrier pulls out, EAS will ensure that our islands stay connected to the National Air Transportation System with a safety net to guarantee service while we work to obtain a necessary replacement. She seeks to add the CNMI to Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico as areas exempt from current EAS eligibility requirements. The bill would enable CNMI airports to once again receive EAS subsidies to maintain air service, including funding for 2 round-trip flights per day. Right now, we have 1. Access to affordable, reliable air travel is essential for the CNMI's economy and quality of life. This bill is just one of multiple steps I am taking to secure better transportation options for the communities, and I'll continue fighting for the CNMI's fair share of federal support. That is from our Congresswoman, Kimberly King Hines. So she is trying to get us on to the EAS program, and we asked her that before she left the interview yesterday, and she thinks we got a shot. She says that speaking with United, which she has, and that if we get those guys on board with it and get some support, then we'll have a pretty good chance of getting into that program. Why would United want to support that for us? There's more money for United. They don't care, apparently, where it comes from. They just want it. And one of those places, if they get it from the subsidies from the federal government, it just means that that money won't be coming from the individual travelers coming from here in Guam trying to fly back and forth, or anybody else. But the thing is that there's so much travel, federal government travel, that's one of the, and they have to pay for it. So that's one of the reasons why they figured they'll just keep charging them a lot of money to do it, because the federal employees are going to have to do it, so they're going to pay it. But who does that come at a hit to? Us, the residents here in the CNMI in Guam. So hopefully between this and if they can figure out that ferry system between Guam and Rota, there'll be some interesting travel options for the CNMI. All positive. And as we heard from the Rota mayor yesterday, they would love to have something like that. They would love to have the ferry system between Guam and Rota. And they said it would be a massive improvement in the quality of life for the folks of Rota. Do they have the infrastructure for it? No, they don't have it yet. Do they have a ship that works yet? No. Is the port big enough? Who knows? Will they have to rebuild and refigure out or build something new? Probably. Is that going to cost money? Yeah. If they're seriously interested in the economic well-being of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, this would be one of those great infrastructure improvement projects, and we hope it works out. We hope it works out for the folks in Rota, because the folks in Rota having success means the folks in the CNMI are going to have success. Anyway, Rota, this is going to be a big weekend for you. We hope you have an amazing one over there with the Galitas Festival. We wish we could be there with you and celebrate and hang out and just sit back and relax and enjoy all the stuff and watch all the demonstrations and all the cultural events. So hopefully we'll see some of that stuff online. I hope you've got it. If so, we're going to watch it and we'll rebroadcast it for you from here. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the show today. It is just about 9 o'clock. I guess before we get out of here, if we wait another minute, we should get one more update from the Associated Press. And if it does come out, then I guess we'll play that before we call it a day. We didn't talk about it, but we did mention it yesterday about the lawsuit between Tianyi Wei, the Chinese citizen who is suing the folks involved with the Tinian Wyndham Resort that never happened, and that includes Bridge Investment Group. So we have the official court filings, and we converted them. We're going to post them, so you'll be able to see them on the show or on the NMI News Service page today. And let's see, did the new one come out yet? It just dropped. There it is. So we're going to get you the latest from the Associated Press. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's great to see you this morning. Thanks for the comments and all the messages, even the messages that we didn't read out loud because it was just too good. All right, but that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Here's the latest update from the AP, and then we're going to send you off for the rest of the week. Have a great one.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. The Fed's leaving its benchmark interest rate unchanged while signaling it still expects 2 cuts this year. Saka Magani has more.
The Fed says inflation remains stubbornly inflated and predicts it will inch up this year further from its 2% goal due to President Trump's tariffs.
I do think with the arrival of the tariff inflation, further progress may be delayed.
Jerome Powell and the central bank see slower economic growth this year and next, with higher unemployment. Powell, though, notes the economy seems healthy, but notes falling consumer sentiment.
The uncertainty is remarkably high.
Higher inflation would usually lead the Fed to keep interest rates high. Slower growth and higher unemployment would often lead to cuts. It all makes a forecast hard right now.
What would you write down?
Powell says for the time being,
we do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The Fed's patience seemed to soothe Wall Street. The S&P closed with a gain of 1.1%, the Nasdaq 1.4%, while the Dow rose 383 points. President Trump spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today, following up on yesterday's call with Vladimir Putin. He suggested the U.S. should take ownership of Ukrainian power plants to ensure their security. Yet another execution today.
An Arizona man who kidnapped and murdered his girlfriend's ex-husband has been executed. Aaron Brian Gunches was lethally injected with pentobarbital Wednesday at the Arizona State Prison Complex in the town of Florence. The 53-year-old Gunches pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in the 2002 fatal shooting of Ted Price. Gunches is the second of 4 death row prisoners in the United States who had been scheduled to be executed this week. Louisiana executed a man on Tuesday, and 2 more executions are scheduled in Florida and Oklahoma on Thursday. I'm Lisa Adams Wagner.
This is AP News. The Trump administration suspending federal funding to another Ivy League school.
The White House says it has halted roughly $175 million in federal funding to the University of Pennsylvania because of a transgender athlete's participation in its swimming program. Penn has been facing an investigation by the Education Department focusing on its swimming program, but the federal money was suspended in a separate review of discretionary federal money going to universities. A Penn spokesperson says the school has not received any notification or details of the suspension in funding, but says Penn has always followed NCAA and Ivy League policies regarding student participation on athletic teams. Leah Thomas, a transgender woman, swam on the school's women's team and was the first openly transgender athlete to win a Division I title in 2022. Donna Warder, Washington.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy Tirawami greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.